I know you're gonna have to do almost everything alone up here, but you know I'll be with you.
Yeah, I know.
Apollo was like my son. I raised him. And when he died, part of me died. But now, you're the one. You're the one that's gonna keep his spirit alive. You're the one that's gonna make sure that he didn't die for nothing. Now you're gonna have to go through hell, worse than any nightmare that you ever dreamed. But in the end, I know you'll be the one standing.
I try.
You know what you gotta do. Do it. Do it.
Anything in life that you put your mind to, you can do. So use that ability to maybe change the world. The world is your oyster.
How many times do you have to hear, if nothing changes, nothing changes? Right? We all have heard this. I don't even know where it comes from. I probably heard that first when I was 10 years old. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And yet, somehow we expect things to change. We expect things to change. You think you're gonna get in better shape. You think you're gonna get more money. You think your relationship is gonna improve. You think you're gonna get promoted. You think you're gonna get a raise. You think the world is going to get better without you doing anything, but it isn't.
A lot of times we have this desire to point the blame finger externally, but wherever you point the finger of blame, power follows. And so whoever I blame for the life I have is the person who I give all the power over my existence, over my circumstances. And so it hurts, but if you turn the finger inwards and you start saying, I don't like my life. The person that I need to punish or get back at is the real person who got me here, which is me. And so you may be right that other people did certain things or you got dealt a bad hand. It also doesn't matter because the only thing that you can control is obviously the actions that you take. And the only person who's in control of that is you.
You know, people need to have purpose to get up. They need purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There is no 5K. There's no I'm going to get into school to be this or that and still perform to the highest level. Because what people don't get is one day that thing's going to come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you.
But you got to get up early. You got to work out, and you have to prioritize and execute. And having that checklist that you put together the night before about what you want to do and what's important is absolutely critical. Otherwise, you lose it. And for me and Jocko, and for all of us at our team on Echelon Front, like it's when we get away from the things that we talk about to people. We're human beings like everybody else, and we can get pulled in different directions. When we get away from those things, it doesn't work. Things start to fall apart. You lose track of where the priorities are. If I can't regularly detach, that's something that I have to really focus on to do, is to regularly detach. If I'm grinding on something for 2 or 3 or 4 hours at a time, sometimes it's easy to miss other things that are coming up. And I got to make sure I pull away from things, kind of think about the prioritize and execute piece, figure out, if I need to reprioritize and so I don't get target fixated on one thing and keep going.
Nothing is going to change unless you change what you're doing. Change the junk food that you're eating. Change the time that you wake up. Change what you do when you get out of bed. Change what you do with your time. That's what you need to do. You have to change some things or nothing will change. So make changes and start little. Get up a little bit earlier, get a workout done. It doesn't have to be epic. You don't have to do a a 3-hour leg day, but get up and get something done.
If you work for it, if you're willing to put in that sweat, that blood, and those tears, baby, I'm telling you, you can have what you want, be what you want, do what you want. Are you hearing me? So before I get started, I just want you to look around. I just want you to see it, baby, that it is a myth. Listen to me, because some of you like, E.T., I'm putting in work, I don't see it. Keep going till you see it. Don't quit, don't give up. Listen to me, don't give up, don't give in. You hang in there, you hang in there, because if you quit right now, you ain't gonna never see it. You ain't gonna never get it, but if you hold on, baby. But if you hold on, everything you dreamed of, everything you envisioned, everything you worked for, it's coming. But you can't quit or give up before you get it.
Thinking about what the version of you who got you here did, and then acting in the exact opposite of that as many times as you possibly can, and the pain that you feel by rejecting the thing that you used to do that got you into this bad circumstance, that's the real revenge.
So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I fucking need. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school, or there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
It's up to the individual to allow the dreariness to set inside. Do we worry about external factors, or do we worry about what's inside of ourselves? Those two different things are the two measures of confidence, positive and negative confidence. And negative confidence is an egocentric person. Bases all their performance trying to achieve third parties' agreeability, their likeness, their thumbs up, because we value their opinion. Those kind of people allow this mood and the weather and everything to set in to dictate their performance of the day. There's also another side, the positive side of confidence, starts from within. That's called pride. That doesn't value rain, sun, if there's someone in the corner looking at them, if it's 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, that pride is always awake, always turning, always burning for the ideology of greatness to be matured into reality. That's internal pride. No one can alter that.
If you're going to do it, do it. Say what you can do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over-leverage yourself. Don't over-leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it. Find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something and you just don't know whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to.
Lion is the king of the jungle. How can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality. That's the only difference of a lion and an elephant. When a lion walks up and sees an elephant, he thinks lunch. An elephant thinks run. And it's all mentality. Because when a male lion walks up, he may be outnumbered by a pack of hyenas, but I'm king of my jungle.
Saying good, that should fix your attitude, but that alone will not fix your problems. If you're having problems, sure, say good. That's perfect. But then don't ask yourself, why me? Instead, ask yourself, now what am I going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Ask yourself that question. And then figure it out. figure out what you're going to do. Say to yourself, I am going to detach. I am going to assess the situation. I am going to come up with a plan, and I am going to execute.
The greatest achievement of somebody comes right after their worst defeat. When they've hit rock bottom, hit the bottom of the barrel, they got nothing left. Everyone's given up on them. They've lost all their worldly possessions. They're dead broke on their back. It's at that point, guys, when everything's lost, that everything can be gained. There's no more ego there, is there? They let go of, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't like, what if this person rejects me? The animosity, the pressures of society, they let it all go because they've lost it all. They're just now left with the intestinal fortitude, the pride within. Do I want to stay on the bottom of this barrel, or do I climb the fuck out of this hole? And that is a spark of what it turns out to be their greatest moment, their greatest hour. We can live that way, guys.
The first secret of self-made millionaires is simple. Dream big dreams. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to imagine and fantasize about all your career goals and the kind of life you would really like to live. Think about the amount of money you would like to earn and have in your bank account. All self-made millionaires begin with a dream of something wonderful and different from what they have today. You know the song that says, you have to have a dream if you want to make a dream come true. It's true for you and for everyone else as well. So imagine that you have no limitations on what you can be or have or do in life. Just for the moment, imagine that you have all the time and all the money and all the education and all the experience and all the friends and all the contacts and all the resources and everything else you need to achieve anything you want in life. You have no limits.
86,400 seconds in a day. And you gotta not only operate in them, you gotta do it quick. You gotta do it fast. You gotta do it in a hurry. Why? Because there's somebody else who's on the same track you on. Somebody else who, listen to me, they're on the same path that you on. Listen to me, it's somebody else just like you trying to do it. And sometimes they're working just as hard as you're working. They're putting in just as much sweat, just as much tears, just as much blood, but you just gotta do it what? You gotta do it faster than they do it. You gotta do it quicker than they do it. Are you listening to what I'm telling you? That's why I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, because if you're getting up at 6, you might be smarter than me. You hear me? You might. You might have more privilege than me. You might. You might have more resources than me. You might. But I'm gonna get up earlier than you, and I'm gonna do it quicker than you do it. I'm gonna do it faster than you do it. So by the time you get up with all your resources, by the time you get up with all your privilege, by the time you get up with all your stuff, I've already finished the race. Are you hearing me?
It's early in the morning. Most people are sleeping right now because it's dreary. You know, if you look at 365 days of the year, a good third of them are dreary. 1/3 of your opportunity to become something this year, you're gonna let pass by? You can get the fuck out of bed and make it happen. You might think that bed's warm, feels all comfortable. You come here, you kill it, give it everything you have, leave it all here. The warmth you feel after that, second to none, man, second to none. No sheet can provide that comfort for you. When you give it all here, guys, and you leave it all here, you at your weakest state, bottom of the barrel. What's about to happen? Your greatest triumph. You kill yourself on pride in here, leave nothing to spare. What's gonna come? The growth of opportunity. There's gonna be sun out here real soon, I guarantee it.
And how about you plan your day? How about you plan what you're gonna do in the day? How about you bring your lunch to work with you so you don't have to eat a slice of pizza or a damn burger and fries? How about you change what time you get to work by showing up 10 minutes earlier? And you square your gear away, or you dial in your tools, or your desk, or your workspace. That's what you need to do.
Success is not for the weak and the uncommitted. This is physical. Sometimes it's gonna hurt. Sometimes it's gonna be painful. Sometimes, listen to me, sometimes you're not gonna be able to walk. Are you hearing me? Sometimes when I'm running on that treadmill, I don't feel as good as I normally feel. My leg hurts. Sometimes I'm sick, but this is a physical sport. And if you want it, you gotta go get it. You gotta play hard for it. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? It's not for the weak and the uncommitted. So you got it. My son, he'll say to me all the time, Dad, you being hard hard on me, Dad. Dad, I did 8 things. Son, it ain't about, listen to me, it ain't about doing 8 things, son. It's about doing 10, son. It ain't about doing 7 good, son. It's about doing 10. It's hard. Yup, it's hard. Yup, it's difficult. Yup, why? Because the process is weeding out the weak. It's weeding out the weak. And so sometimes you got to play hard. You got to play physical. You got to play tough because the game itself is tough. The game itself is hard. But I know you got what it takes not to quit, not to give up, not to give in.
Imagine the life you can live when you let go of the thought of failure. When the fear doesn't resonate inside of you to paralyze yourself in a self-paralysis state. When that's gone, the freedom. When you judge yourself on your own measure, you're not worried about other people's opinions. Because when you don't worry about anyone else and you just worry about what's in here saying, the pride of confidence, funny, all this is taken care of too. With one comes the other in a positive way.
If your potential were completely unlimited, what kind of a life would you want to create for yourself and your family? Practice back from the future thinking. This is a powerful technique practiced continually by high-performing men and women. This way of thinking has an amazing effect on your mind and then on your behavior. And here's how it works. Project yourself forward 5 years. Imagine that 5 years have passed and that your life is now perfect in every respect. What does it look like? What are you doing? Where are you working? How much money are you earning? How much do you have in the bank? What kind of a lifestyle are you enjoying? Create a vision for yourself for the long-term future. The more clear your vision is of health and happiness and prosperity, the faster you move toward it and the faster it moves toward you.
You make those little changes, those little habits that you have to change them, those bad habits. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised the little things, the little changes, they add up and they become big things. Change the little things and over time, you can change your life. But if you don't change what you're doing and how you do it, nothing else will change.
Winners are found every moment, guys, in the choices we make. Our character is defined by the choices we make on a moment-to-moment basis. It all adds up to the win. And don't give me that shit. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game, all that bullshit. If that was so true, then why are there scoreboards? Why do people give a shit and keep score of anything? Fuck that, man. Always you will win. Always you will win. Sometimes you'll win immediately. But always definitely. You know what that means? You might not win it today, but your efforts done today, even the failure felt today, are all measures that create the moment later. And if you failed on the way back and got there, and you got knocked down, found it before to get back up, try that same endeavor, then you find yourself victorious in that endeavor, that's the sweetest victory of all. That builds a confidence that's unbreakable.
A part of that is having the will to succeed. Knowing that you put the work in and have the confidence to let it show. What I tell people is just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful and whatever you put your mind to.
Win the day. That's right, win the day. Too many of y'all are focused. Yup, you gotta have a vision. Yup, you gotta begin with the end in mind. But you gotta come back to the front. Are you hearing me? You gotta come back. Listen to me, I told you before, you go in the future and you see your future, baby. You look at it, you see where you wanna be in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40 years, and then you come back to the present, to this particular day, to this particular spot. Get in the spot and you master today, and you don't worry about tomorrow, and you ain't tripping on your past. Why? Because your past don't count no more, and your future is so far ahead that you don't even need to be worried about that. You master the present. You master the present. You master Monday, and then you take on Tuesday. And once you lick Tuesday, then you say Wednesday, come on. And then you take Thursday, and then you master Friday, and then you tell the weekend, bring it on. And when you get to the point where you start winning the day, then you start winning a week, and then you start winning a month, and then you start winning a year. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's your boy E.T. saying, go fast, go hard, finish, and win the day.
And you know, when you can see change, that's when you like really go into it. You start getting obsessed when you see whether it's success or like your fitness levels go up or just the way your energy levels are every day, and just figuring out that like these little indicators are changing the way I am. And then at the same time, we were really working on the business, so the business was starting to see a bit more success, and that whole thing, the cadence of that just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And I guess whether it's obsession or addiction, I got addicted to it. And like there couldn't be a day go by where I wouldn't work out, or I wouldn't eat the calories that I needed to eat, or I wouldn't sleep the exact, like I needed to get the exact amount of sleep that I wanted. And it just completely changed like the way I looked, and the like my levels of fitness and cardiovascular and strength and everything like that just went through the roof.
When you create a clear mental picture of where you are going in life, and you set clear career goals, you become more positive and more motivated and more determined to make it a reality. You trigger your natural creativity, and you come up with idea after idea to help make your vision come true. You see, you always tend to move in the direction of your dominant career goals and dreams and images and visions. The very act of allowing yourself to dream big dreams actually raises your self-esteem and causes you to like and respect yourself more. Dreaming big dreams improves your self-concept and increases your level of self-confidence. It increases your personal level of self-respect and happiness.
The biggest mistake a person can do right now, no matter in which situation you are, is to give up. You might not reach the best version of yourself in this lifetime, but a better one than you are right now. The main point is to find something that you are not standing still where you are right now. At least prepare yourself slowly, step by step, to get out of that hole right now.
Some people can sit around and wait for the opportunity to change like this, and then they get the fuck up. Some people strike when that iron's hot. Other people just keep on striking until the fucking blade's so hot it slices through anything. Some people get up in the middle of a snowstorm or a rainstorm, pushes through, listen to their pride, not their ego. And what happens? The sun comes out, birth of a new day, new opportunities. We're living. We're not waiting for it to pass by. I said it 1,000 times in this workout, guys. Your greatest moment, your greatest hour will be right after your worst hour of despair. Because in that worst hour of despair, who are you? Who are you? You're no one.
You seriously pull out these other drinks and you just look at the ingredients and it's just wrong. We are legitimately going to help people be better, be healthier by just giving them the right stuff to put in their bodies, man. But if they don't know, if they're not educated, if we don't do a good job, if I don't do a better job of educating people as to what they're putting in their bodies, that's on me. You know, you hear something like, oh, people spend millions of dollars to advertise. They spend millions of dollars to brainwash you. They spend millions of dollars to lie to you. It's not even millions. It's tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to get you to put their crap into your body. It's just disturbing. We're doing the right thing for the right reasons, and when that's happening, you win in the end.
You should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
That are the hardest of the hard. And I want to be with these men. And I want to see them suffer because I'm suffering right along with you, but I want to see me get through it. I want to see what you're made of. I want to see almost like the Colosseum in Rome. Let's fucking go to the fucking Colosseum. And the only way to see who the baddest motherfucker is to suffer. You can't do it by writing a paper. So let's go, because why? What I found out through my life was I thought of myself as some weak little bitch kid. And what I found out, and the only message I want to get across to people is once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything.
Take the opportunity. It doesn't say receive the opportunity. Right. It doesn't say have the opportunity granted to you. It doesn't say get lucky with the opportunity. It says take the opportunity. You know what that means? That means you have to seize it. That means you have to take it. No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to come and say, here, I got this path. You can make $1 million a year or $10 million a year. If you do, no one, that's not how it works, bro. True high achievers, they look for the lane and then they take the opportunity by taking initiative.
Quitting guarantees the failure. Once you quit, it rules out any chance of succeeding. The mere waking up every day, putting the next foot in front of the next foot, at least keeps you in the game. And if God is waking you up continually every morning, once God wakes you up, that's a sign from God that he ain't through with you yet. That he has something more for you in store that he hasn't given to you yet. That's why you wake up every day, because God has more for you. Now, all you gotta do is understand that, because look at this, the moment God is done, when you served your purpose here, you won't wake up. But if you keep waking up, don't you understand that there's a higher purpose?
And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change. Okay? I don't have the right, I don't have the desire to, and I do not have the right to try to change my wife's personality and who she is. I don't have the right to change anybody except myself. Now, there's people out there I don't like, and if I don't like them, I just walk away. I'm 55 years old. I've done without that person my whole dang life. I don't need them now. And I don't have the right or the desire to try to change them.
There are so many different approaches also out there. I can only tell you the one that is working for us over here. But you have other people that you have also talked to in the past. I think if there is something in common when it comes to people that are not living in these holes, there's a reason why you are not in that hole. Because you have figured out another way of how dealing with this world. Your view has become already a little bit more clear about how things are functioning here.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit.
When I was overweight and unhealthy, and I'd look at people on Instagram and be like, yep, genetics, whatever. Yep, he's on steroids. I can't look like that. I've got a business to run. You'd dismiss everything, but it's not. And once you start doing it yourself and you see those little gains and you get into it, you can really change.
What is the starting point?
One step at a time. Whether it's 10,000 steps or doing even a 20-minute workout, that's all people need to do to change. Because you'll start seeing results regardless of what position you're in right now. If you can just keep increasing incrementally what you're doing in terms of fitness or your business or however you like your sleep, whatever it is that you feel is not right, you'll see the change over time. It comes, and it takes a long time. It takes a really long time, but it happens.
Take action. Action that moves you in a positive direction. And if it ends up being the wrong direction, that's fine. At least you've learned where not to go. Now, where this gets tough is if it is something that seems like it's completely out of your control. And you know what? Some things are completely out of your control, and that's fine. And when that happens, you ask yourself, what can I control? What can I control that will make this situation a little bit better?
And a lot of people don't like to do that because they do this. Well, what if I do all this shit and they don't recognize me? I'm not going to put in all this work and, fucking have them not pay me for my blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something, bro. That's loser talk. Because here's the reality. If you took the opportunity, you learned the skills, you learned how to solve the problems, and you were actually valuable, and your fucking place of business doesn't recognize it, you just learned a whole new set of skills that you could take elsewhere and make more money. You see what I'm saying? So it's fucking take the opportunity. And these people have a misunderstanding of that. They believe that if I show up every day, because they all got parents that think like this. That's what it always comes.
Minimize the errors and make the rest of your life the best of your life.
But when you begin to dream big dreams about financial success, you begin to change the way you see yourself and your life. You begin to do different things, bit by bit, gradually, until the whole direction of your life changes for the better. Dreaming big dreams is the starting point of financial success and of becoming a self-made millionaire. So here's an action exercise for you. Make a list of everything you would do or attempt if you are absolutely guaranteed of success. Then decide upon one specific action and take it immediately. Remember, all self-made millionaires dare to dream big, and then they take action.
Just you, mano to mano. Who's talking inside? Is there anything left? You're at the bottom of the barrel, no place to go but up. That's the voice that carries your weak ass, pathetic ass that everyone said goodbye to and left. To get the fuck up, find the intestinal fortitude, stand back up in a cloudy day until the sun comes out. That is your finest hour. That's the positive confidence of pride, not the negative confidence of ego, where you're worried about other people. What we do every day, every single day, what we do becomes habitual and routine. Through practice, every single day we do the same thing, regardless of egocentrical ideas and ideologies, of weather, surroundings, elements, people, regardless. We're on our mission because this universe, we are the center of our own universe. We continue to do the path that we believe in. It doesn't change in a biased nature of someone else's opinion or the fucking sun or no. Headstrong, confident, pushing through it.
One doesn't expect to get from life what one has already learned it cannot give. Rather, one begins to see that life is a kind of sowing time. And harvest is not yet here. He was just a humble preacher's son. And yes, he had his demons, but they never stopped him from searching for beauty. Because when you find beauty, you find inspiration. If, that is, you stay as determined as Vincent. Never stop, no matter how many failures. When you know you're doing what you're meant to do, you have to try.
You go from very uncomfortable to comfortable, like I was now. I wasn't in training, I wasn't drowning. You never want to go back to being uncomfortable again. So I'm sitting there relaxing, chilling out. I'm thinking, well, man, they're gonna kick me out of here. I'm not gonna quit though, so this is good. I don't wanna get back in the water ever again so I can leave training. So this is my thought process. The doc calls me in a week later. I'm skipping down to the doc's office thinking I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm not gonna quit, but they're kicking me out, so that's good for me. I walk in the doctor's office, he says, hey man, we're putting you back into training. It's not good, it's not good. But I'm like, okay, let me see. I've been in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 3 weeks left. I can tough it out. I'm walking back to my compound, talking to the head of the school, walking to the CEO of the school. I say, hey, sir, they let me back into training. He goes, that's great. He goes, well, you missed a week of training. There's a very important block of training you missed. You have to start from day one. But when you're insecure like I was and you're afraid of everything like I used to be, you lie really fast because you don't want the person knowing that you're a punk. And the commanding officer says, we live in a world where mediocrity is often rewarded. These men detest mediocrity. And I sat there and I had time to reflect back on my life. Being bullied, coming from nothing, learning disability, messed up foundation. Life isn't fair at all. At all. So what are you gonna do about it? I knew that no one was coming back to help me. No one was gonna miracle me to be somebody special. Everybody that called me Nick, my dad, my mom, all my situations were on me now, and solely on me. So I had to start developing an indestructible mental toolbox. So I sat there on that couch and I realized, man, I am a piece of shit. And even though the world helped me get here, my false reality helped me even more. Your best work has to come when you're least motivated. Where does that come from? It comes from basically, I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things. But no one taught me this stuff. It wasn't like I had, I paid a trainer to come train me. Jenny Craig didn't come down and miracle my ass. None of this happened. It was on me. And that's what you have to realize. Everything you do, you may have some support, you may not, but it's on you. You have to make the decision whether you want to be a badass or whether you just want to be mediocre and everything's okay. But being a badass hurts real bad. And that's why I didn't want to do it. So over the next 2.5 months, I won't bore you with details. I lost the weight. I went back to the recruiter and I went to Buds, Navy SEAL training. And I was the only person in the history of Navy SEAL training to go through 3 Hell Weeks in 1 year. Hell Week is 130 hours of continuous training and starts on Sunday, ends on Friday. You might get 2 hours of sleep. And I did all that in 1 year. Why did I do that in 1 year? Cut to the chase again. There was an old crusty commanding officer named Captain Bowen. Captain Bowen was an old Vietnam vet. This was his last tour of duty. And he believed, so over 70 years this training's been going on. He believed no matter where you were at, you will start from day one if you don't make it through. We are leaving a lot on the table. My book is called Can't Hurt Me. Why is it called Can't Hurt Me? Life isn't fair. We have to understand that. It shouldn't be fair. It's a trial ground, it's a testing ground. It's built to make us harder. It's built to make us as strong as we can, to test us, to drive us. So, mentality is the only thing that gets us through life. I was an underdog. We are all underdogs in life. Even the baddest person in the world should think that way. So you should always have I've never arrived mentality. And the can't hurt me mentality is no matter where you come from, the sewer or wherever you think you're from. When I got out of the sewer, I got to the road and looked around and said, can't hurt me. Nothing should be able to hurt you. If you believe that, it starts to become true. It was honestly, I started shaving my head at a young age, and I lied so much because I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted to be accepted so badly. So whatever you liked, I liked. I mean, I liked it, but just so you like me, that's what I thought about. So for a period of time, looking in that mirror every day, you can't lie to yourself, man. That dirty bathroom mirror that with all that daggone toothpaste scum and whatever on it, it's telling you the truth. It's saying, hey man, you are a jacked up cat. And a lot of us have this voice in our head. We all know that voice in our head that tells us the truth every single day that we try to run away from, that says we're scared of this, let's go this way. It started gnawing at me so horribly bad that it wouldn't allow me to live anymore without facing me. I had to go back in the dungeon. So when I tell my story, I tell it on a very surface level. I had to go down in the dungeon, the sewer where my mind used to be at, and talk to that guy. Because I wanted to live my life in a way that when I died, I was proud of myself. I know what pride felt like. And if it took pushing myself to death, I was willing to do that. But I wanted to look in that mirror, not impress anybody, not money, not fame, not nothing. I wanted to impress the guy in the daggone mirror. And I worked endlessly and tirelessly to do that. And it happened.
Anything in life that you put your mind to, you can do. The world is your oyster. Only thing promised is death. So basically life is like a game. So you had to play the game the way you want to play it.
If you had to create a human, what would you put them through to make them tough? It probably wouldn't be a really chill life.
Yeah.
What would you put them through to make them patient? You probably wouldn't give them things immediately. And so it's like we want these traits, but each of the traits has a price tag attached to it. And it's just like, do you want to pay the price tag to get the thing? And so I think if people reframe the period of life that they're going through as the price that they're paying out of their wallet, but the wallet is their time, it's the seconds of life that they're trading for it, then I think more people will be willing to make the trade. Because at least when I look at myself, like when I'm 80 something years old and I'm looking back at my life, I want to have these traits. But in order to have those traits, I know I have to go through these things. And I think for me, that's given me a lot of comfort in hard times.
You better make sure in the next season of your life that the person who walked away from you know what they're missing. You better do something with your life. Did you look at me? You better do something so strong and so big with your life that they have to sit on the couch and say, that's the one that got by. Man, I should have just stayed in there a little bit longer. I should have been a little more patient. I should have prayed a little bit harder. Do something with your life that makes them regret turning you away and turning you over. That means getting better and not bitter.
Get serious. You've really got to get serious. You don't have to be grim, but you must be serious. To go from average to fortune, you must get serious. Designing the next 5, the next 10 years is so vitally important. What do you want to do economically? Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? What would you like to have? What would you like to share? How much would you like to earn? How far would you like to go? Those are some major questions to ask. Personal development is striving hard to become the kind of person that you want to be. And to become the kind of person you want to be, you've got to work at it. 10 years from now, you will surely become someone. The big question is, who? What are you becoming? And if you go to work on it now, sure enough, in a very short period of time, you can take on a new direction to become the kind of person you want to be.
My personal goal is to squeeze every ounce of potential out of whatever I have. And I think that if you feel like you have potential left over, then it will eat you alive until you do something about it. Almost every successful person that I have ever encountered has gone through not a month or a year, but many years of doing work without reward, where they have to do things that other people find boring, and they have to sacrifice things that everyone finds interesting, that most people want to do during that entire season of their life. And they basically sacrifice a season of other things that they would prefer to do stuff that they would not prefer to do because of the one thing they want most.
Two forms of pain. Pain that breaks you and the pain that changes you. That's the pain of a change right there. That's the pain of progress. The pain that destroys you isn't this. It's later in life knowing you could have been more. And all that's left is you and the mirror and tears of a possibility left that you allow to die. Own your life, guys. You get every opportunity. There's no excuse not to be the hardest worker in the room. In all your endeavors, schoolwork, the gym, your career, your relationship, your needs attached to it. It's gotta mean more than anything.
At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the question. And it's just taking small steps. You don't try to get it all done in one day, in 1 week, in 1 year. It's the process of getting better every day and doing that for a period of years that then create the masterpiece.
Is there any limit to your ambition?
No.
Or any limit to what you think you can achieve?
No. Because I think right now, if I was to quit rapping and I said I want to go to the NBA, I would be in the NBA.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Why would you think you could make it to the NBA?
Because I think I can do anything.
Let me leave you with some words from Muhammad Ali. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in a world that they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare.
You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions. Make the sacrifices. Make the unpopular decisions. And become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
Sometimes life can really hijack your mind. When that happens to you, you're all up. Your goals, your ambitions, everything is out the window. In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get the over it. They no longer want you. Maybe you failed a test in school. You worked your off. Guess what? You failed the test. Get over it. Move past it. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. At work, you've been working your ass off for that new promotion. You don't get it. Someone else does. Maybe they kiss better ass than you do. Guess what? Get over it. Life will hijack your mind if you let it. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours. Get after it, stay hard.
The message I try to deliver to people is play to win. Don't play to avoid loss, because the things you fear, the things that's going to happen to you. Set that target on something positive. Work for it. Expect it.
I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, and you do that for 20 years, what do you have?
I never looked at things as problems. I look at them as opportunities. Maybe that's something I can say. Someone, but she did this, and well, what an opportunity you have. Yeah, well, the world, because they said this and Shannon said that. Yeah, well, what an opportunity you have to make a difference.
Dr. Carter had a tear in his eye. I could tell he felt for me. Then he said, son, I'm sorry to say you're not going to box again. And I looked at him. I said, no, Dr. Carter, you're wrong. I am going to box again. He said, you don't understand what kind of man I am.
Oh, let's do a what if.
What if what?
What if you lose?
I don't even feel, I can't, my consciousness don't even elevate that thought.
Therefore, if it happens, you'd be distraught, crazed, what?
It's not my nature to allow it to happen.
Man, if I want to be good, I gotta wake up in the morning, I gotta do the extra work. And I gotta show up when other guys aren't. And I've gotta learn, I've gotta continue to be open to learning.
The unfulfilled potential is the story of most people's lives.
It is. It is. And it could have been the story of mine. And I tell a lot of people go, what's your biggest fear in life? And my biggest fear, honestly, was, that's not me, man. And God looks at me and says, that's who you were supposed to be. I'm not good enough, smart enough. I'm not talented enough. Some people are. Some people can start at 1. Some people don't have to start at all. If you lack talent, you can't sit back and say, I'll start in half an hour. I can't do that. I gotta start now. And after I get back from starting, I gotta start again. And then when I get done with that run or that study session, if it wasn't good enough, I gotta go back again. So you can honestly outwork anything.
You see that look right there? Don't ever let a man see you like that. Cause you give him the power over you. If you gotta take an L, you take it with your head up, chest out, like a man.
Impossible is nothing to somebody that tries. Everything that someone said was impossible has happened.
Yeah. There's human beings that have different temperament and different minds and different mentality and a ruthless competitive drive that's almost terrifying to the ordinary person.
What's the central part of your training? Is it running? Is it sparring? Or?
Central part is dodging the nightclubs and the parties and the girls. You know the truth? And being in the bed by yourself at 9 o'clock at night. And if you can get by that, you'll make it. No, that's the truth. Now, I tell you the truth.
People don't see that. People will never understand that. To be success, all they think about, well, you batted 202, and you struck out a certain number of times. Yeah, okay. But the effort was there, and the learning curve and the passion was there that has transcended not just to me, but to other people who are afraid to do things because they're worried about the perception that may come from other places. To me, that's more gratifying than anything, So that's the things that my father and my mother instilled in me. Take a negative and turn it into a positive. Don't be afraid to fail.
It happens like this. You work, nothing happens. You work, you watch some people fall off, nothing happens. It's hard, difficult, and lonely. You work, still nothing happens. And then for the people that persist and last the test of time, that overcome the adversity, that continue to do the personal development work and continue to put pressure and march forward under any and all circumstances, it happens like this. It's hockey stick growth. You just take off.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey.
There's no perfect way to live your 20s. You either live them up and become an underskilled 30-year-old, or you work them up and become an underlived 30-year-old. You just have to figure out which you'd rather be, accept the trade-offs, and know that there are no do-overs.
Right now in life, your family's looking for that one guy right now. They're looking for that one guy who's strong, who's that pillar for the family in hard times. Make sure they look around and find you. These are the times right now for you to step up. Be that guy that can take anything.
I've got a good question for you. Why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
The highest level winners do what?
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every single one of them. Think about it. Really nice. Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up. Every single day, your mind is the one that tells you, get up. And your feelings like, an extra 30 minutes, just roll. Don't worry about it.
I will never quit, because if you quit, you're done. You may still be alive, walking around on this earth. You're done. I will never quit. I will persevere and I will thrive on adversity. My team expects me to be physically harder and mentally stronger than our opponents. I hold myself to that standard.
Bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome?
The winners always show up. They're willing to lose in order to gain. Big mental thing there, guys. This body, as great as you are, as sharp as you make the arsenal, it can't do anything if you don't have confidence in yourself. We all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back up? You go after and you give it all you have. If you lose, at least you tried, man. I failed. It's 10 times more of a man than someone said, what if? Because what if never went to the arena. When you guys find a fear, that fear will either create you or destroy you. I love fear. And the reason why, behind every fear is a person you want to be. Fear is self-imposed, meaning it doesn't exist. You create it, you can destroy it too. It's an intangible. If you face your fears, guys, you will realize it's not that big. And once you face it, you go, oh my God, man, I spent all this time running from it. It was so small. If I just faced it, my God, not only did I face it, I beat it back. Energy's never lost, transferred. That negative energy, that fear, is destroyed. It comes back in its confidence. You're like, what else am I capable of? What else am I holding my back from that I'm capable of more? What am I running from I don't need to? What else can I overcome? You face your fears, you become the person you want to be. You run from your fears, you're not living. You're alive, but you're not thinking into freedom. You're not running the day. The day's running you. You always be the servant, not the master, guys.
Out of the 100 men that go into war, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 of them are just targets. 10 do most of, or 9 do most of the fighting. 1 is a warrior. And it's a true quote to life. I saw it going through training. I saw it everywhere I went. There's so many people who just show up to life that shouldn't even be around. And there's few people who do all the work. I wanted to be part of that 9, and I'm working towards being that 1.
I heard a quote one time from Vincent van Gogh that really rang true. He said, he has dedicated his life to his art and he has lost his mind in the process. When I sat and I thought about that, it sounded very familiar. I have given every single thing, every ounce of my life to this craft, to perfecting my craft, and I continue to do so. And in the process, I have lost my mind, but in a good way. To regular society, to people who wake up at 9 a.m., who clock out at 5 p.m., they would look at me and say, I've lost my mind. But me, I have found it almost.
Sometimes you have to go beyond what you're feeling. Okay, this hurts, that hurts. We can just sit down and do nothing. Or we can see how far we can push the human body. I don't quit. I may not make it the first time, but I'll come back. I gotta get my head back in the game. I gotta figure this out. It doesn't mean you leave. It means you study it more. And whenever I fail at something, people always say, man, how do you handle failure, man? But I don't look at failure as failure. I look at failure as your first, second, third, fourth, fifth attempt. I look at them as attempts. I don't look at anything as failure. Not trying is failure.
If you go visit the darkness that you've been running from, you'll have the opportunity to leave a better person. You'll have a better understanding of yourself. You'll have a better understanding of your purpose. But if you don't take that trip and the darkness comes visit you, it's a guest that will never leave.
There comes a day, man. Everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're going to become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out, or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a day where push comes to shove, where being mediocre, being like average and just burns it so much. You can't deal with it one more day, and you get off your and you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out, but you've never wanted to unwrap it because there's too much pain and commitment. You were scared you were going to fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it until something hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you of what you could have been. And then the spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never going to be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even if it gets knocked down, you just keep going. You're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet. That can happen at an early age. It can happen at a later age. It's going to happen to somebody no matter what, it's going to happen to you. And when it does happen to you, thank your lucky stars that finally you're alive. It's time to unwrap the potential you can be. Superior, man. It's within you. It's within every single one of us. And the people that have risen to that level were no different than any one of us. It's just they believed it and they're willing to work their to get it. It wasn't about the potential. It wasn't about the genetics. It wasn't about the perseverance. And it wasn't about being the hardest worker in the room.
Kill the boy, Jon Snow. Kill the boy. And let the man be born.
So the goal was to be the first one at breakfast. So I set my alarm. I make sure I'm up by sunrise. I get out of bed. I put on my gear and I head downstairs. But when I get there, Kobe's already there, with ice packs on his knees, drenched in sweat. Now, it took me a minute to figure it out, but this guy wasn't only awake before me. He had already worked out. He had just played in the finals days earlier. Meanwhile, I'd been off for months and I was still exhausted. What he had done that morning was incomprehensible to me. That dedication he had only days after falling short of an NBA championship. That taught me something I've never forgotten. Legends aren't defined by their successes. They're defined by how they bounce back from their failures. And that's what I hope to communicate to anyone watching this.
You on that winter arc, I go, I'm on that 365. It's not an arc, it's a circle. It's a circle that keeps going around and round and round. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Love yourself enough to stay motivated. 365 arc. Do a circle. Stay hard.
David Goggins, he wrote me, be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Yeah. It's pushing the water, and there's a jogger, actually. Look at this.
Cornmeal. I should have stopped this fight with your father. I'm stopping this one now.
Don't, okay? Let me finish. I gotta prove it.
Prove what?
I'm not a mistake.
It's the what if I can pull off a miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if I can be that guy that people who call this and that, and now I'm speaking at Tom Ferry's event.
Pressure changes everything, pressure. Some people, you squeeze them, they focus. Others fold. Can you summon your talent at will? Can you deliver on a deadline? Can you sleep at night?
Partying is weakness for the soul, my friend, so I try and avoid it.
Everything counts. Everything that you do counts. The biggest mistake that people make is they think that only what they want to count counts. No. When you read a book, when you listen to an audio program, when you go to a course, when you go to bed early and get up early and you work, it all counts. And it's all going on the plus side of your ledger.
It's the moments in life, the decisions you make on a moment-to-moment basis that add up to be the guy or not the guy. Tonight, I did something, that I feel more of a guy. For me, who I am, my guy.
Basketball for me was the most important thing. So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
The world becomes your library to help you improve your craft, better your craft.
Yes, indeed.
So because you know what you want, the world's giving you exactly the information you need to become better at it.
Because you know what you're looking for.
The thing I would say is,
when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use.
And George Foreman admits that he gave Muhammad Ali everything he had. And Muhammad Ali grabbed him and pulled him to him. Old man hadn't fought in years, hurt. And Muhammad Ali pulled him to him and said, "Is that all you got?" And George Foreman said when he heard the words, "Is that all you got?" it penetrated his spirit. And said, "I done gave my man everything I got. I can't see him to knock him down." And Muhammad Ali said when he said that to him, he looked into the pupils of his eyes and he said at that point he knew George Foreman had lost.
Everybody's asleep, man, or just getting home after a long night. You know, going out there partying. It's Friday night. It's close to 3 in the morning right now. You know, the thing is, man, it's always going to be a party. There's always going to be a time to celebrate and a time to join friends or a day that, I mean, the bars are always open. Always open. No matter how old you are, they're always open, you know? What's not always open is the opportunity to check the box in life. You know, achieve your dreams. That's not always open.
Why? We all ask why we should work this hard. Why take that many classes? Why go to school that many years? You know, why take the notes? Why read the books? Why work that hard? Why put yourself through the push-ups and the disciplines? Why? Good question, why? Best answer to why, I think, is the second question. Why not? Why not see how many books you can read, how many classes you can take, how many skills you can develop? Why not see how valuable you can become to the marketplace and to your friends and to your family? Why not see what you can make of yourself? Why not see how far you can go, how much you can see, how much you can earn, how much you can share? Why not? That's the heritage all of us have, in America especially, is to see what we can make out of our lives now that we've been given this extraordinary opportunity.
Just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. You don't have to live anybody else's story. Sometimes people make it seem like you have to have certain prerequisites or a crazy life story in order to be successful in this world. But the truth is you really don't. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful and whatever you put your mind to. Make sure you live in the moment and work your every single day.
This is yours. You're the captain. You're the master. You're the foreman. You're the general. You're the head. Don't give control of this to nobody.
Rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. You know, I'm not going to rest. I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going.
The mindset of a winner, which is a winner does more than expected every single time, no matter how they feel, no matter the circumstances. A winner shows up 10x times more than the average person. A winner has these unreasonable expectations of himself. A winner knows that he's destined for greatness. And no matter how many people around him tell him to slow down, be careful, watch out, that's too risky. You don't have the genetics, the DNA, the money, the mind, the brain power for that. A winner locks onto their goals and keeps going.
Yeah, keep booing me, baby. Keep booing me. I love it. I love it. People been booing me and doubting me since I started training. I love it. The more you boo me, the stronger I get, baby. I'm used to this. Y'all can't stop me. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up. Y'all can't stop me.
I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows say you, because they belong to me.
The sound of laughter and the sound of doubt motivates me, so...
In it.
All you got is 15 minutes. Can you be strong for 15 minutes? Can you? Listen, your concentration's weaving a little bit. Pick it up. Okay. Pick it up! Okay. Let's control the outside. Look, the fire's coming. Are you ready for the fire? We're firemen. Okay. We are firemen! Got it, Coach. The heat doesn't bother us. We live in the heat. We train in the heat. Yeah, let's go. It tells us that we're ready. We're at home. We're where we're supposed to be. Flames don't intimidate us. What do? We control the flame. We control them.
This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Period.
I've been listening to them laugh my whole career. They've been laughing. What? An Irishman win a fight in the UFC? Hell no. Laughs all around. You serious? An Irishman? Okay, you gotta win. Now he wants to win a world title? Hell no, he's all talk, he's all hype, he's a joke. Laughter all around at the Joker. The sound of laughter and the sound of doubt motivates me, so I'm enjoying that. I seek that. Then the Joker goes and wins the world title. Now he wants to win a second world title.
So I created the Black Mamba.
You've got to create a lot of different emotion to heighten your sense of awareness and focus. Like for me, anger was good. The more I could create an enemy, the more I wanted to go out and kill those guys. Now, I knew I wasn't going to kill them physically, but man, if I could just, what did they say? You know, and did that asshole say something? Like, those are little things that can get me right in the emotional frame of mind that when I ran on the field and I said, let's fucking go. It was really, let's go kick some ass. That's what we were doing.
He worked day and night, every day, for years and years and years and years and years. And as time went on, 20 years had passed, and he felt that he had accomplished all that he set out to accomplish.
There's so much opportunity on the other side of being willing to persist for an extended period of time on the correct path without getting positive reinforcement from your environment. And the longer you can stick with something without that positive feedback loop in terms of the big external thing, the easier the opportunities are because so few people can pursue them.
I don't believe in talent. I'm here because I worked hard my whole life.
The small steps in between the big successes that everyone sees. No one sees this.
Your haters will become your congratulators. And the more stones they throw at your ass, your mansion gonna get bigger.
The majority of people who aren't getting the places they want or aren't achieving the things that they want in this business is strictly based on hustle. It's strictly based on being outworked. It's strictly based on missing crucial opportunity.
I can't catch a break, guys.
Yeah.
Get them the away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't buy it because everybody has bad breaks.
Yeah.
I've had a ton of bad breaks, but you know what I did? I stayed up.
Yeah.
And I thought through it, and I figured out what the I did wrong, and then I went back. It's like I f***ed up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it. And I've had a bunch of breaks. Everybody has, but you got to realize when you have those breaks what that is. It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through. It's just little challenges. The grind is like, you got to be there every day. If you're there 3 days a week, it's not as good as 5.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be there 5 days a week. And 5 might be better than 7 because sometimes 7 you burn out. You want to keep enthusiasm because that's a fuel. Enthusiasm, there's something about enthusiasm that like you got to balance discipline and enthusiasm. Discipline's critical. You have to be able to show up, but you also have to enjoy the out of it. And so enjoying the out of it with discipline is the key.
When I was 300 pounds, trying to lose weight to get the Navy SEALs, my goal was to go out. I had a plan. My plan was to go out there and run 4 miles. But guess what? Everybody's got a plan so they can hit in the mouth. That's for Mike Tyson. So when your plan fails, when those bolts of balls get too heavy, when you get knocked down the canvas, when everything falls apart in your life and your plan is up, what the you gonna do? There's only one option. Stay hard.
As a competitor, if you're trying to do something
meaningful. If you don't have the mindset that you're the best ever, you failed already. And that's been my mindset since I can remember. That will be my mindset as long as I can remember anything, that I am the best ever at what I do. And every day that I step on the basketball floor, I will strive to be that. But my mindset will always be as such, as I am the best to do what I do. And that'll give me a shot at being the best. But before you can ever reach anything, you have to believe it. You don't just mistakenly become great at something.
The question is, do we believe we can become it? Without that belief, every journey, how bad do you want it? There's two options. To continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that dream is given birth, and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to find that dream again. For it is dead, and in its death, it's replaced by regret. Right now, it's your choice.
Everyone is jealous of what you've got. No one is jealous of how you got it.
Everybody wants the view, but no one wants the climb.
Did you ever doubt? Or did you just decide to go all in and you just did it?
I mean, my philosophy is you play to win. You don't play by half measure. Beating 99% of people is simple, not easy. You show up early, you prepare the night before, you remember everyone's name, you say no to opportunities that don't bring value to your life. You follow up quickly, you follow up multiple times, you deliver value at every interaction with the other person, and you never make the same mistake twice. The more I've done this, the more I've realized that it's about doing the basics at scale consistently. That makes you advanced, and that's how you win. I love this question, which is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I love thinking about that when I'm thinking about big life decisions. Like, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And it's usually like the big one, the bigger thing that I really want to do, but I'm afraid to do it. It's like, that's what I should do.
I think a lot of people they see you run and they say, oh, it looks so easy, you really look effortless. But before it gets to that point, it's hard. It's like hard work. It's day in, day out, sacrifice, day in, day out, just dying. This time when you run and you just want to stop, you just want to give up, like, to hell with this, I just want to go home. This day when you get up and you know what you have a training today, you're just going to be intense and you're like, oh God, I don't want to go today, but you got to go. And it's so hard and a lot of people don't know.
And that little voice becomes completely drowned out. And so you don't know who you are anymore. And you're afraid. We're so afraid of being different. They're so afraid of being odd. But look at all the powerful people in this world. Look at your celebrities in entertainment, in business, in politics. They're one of a kind. They have I hate that word, but it's like a brand. They're different. They stand out for something that's truly different. You know, even Albert Einstein, there's nobody else like Einstein. There's nobody like Da Vinci. That's where your power lies. And you'll go, oh, but Robert, those are people that were brilliant, that were talented. I'm not like that. I don't have that. Well, bullshit. You do have that. It's just you're forgetting about it and you don't want to put the effort into it.
We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way.
The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. And some people will get it and some people won't.
Louis. I will not be outworked, period.
You might have more talent than me, you might be smarter than me, but if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's two things. You're getting off first, or I'm gonna die. It's really that simple.
A lot of people can climb that mountain. It's the way down that breaks them, because that's the moment when you are truly alone. And what will you do then? Can you summon the will to fight on through all the pain and rise again? Who are you, Michael? That will be the defining question of your life. And I think you already know the answer.
And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win. And that's life. Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist. Go live.
You can hope, you can wish, you can dream, you can say you're gonna, but the reality is until you start stacking wins day by day by day by day, nothing's going to happen. The game is played one day at a time. And if you have the capacity to wake up today, go through the entire day, do everything you're supposed to do, be smart enough to figure out what the actions of a winner look like and execute on those. The day is over and I'm starting over tomorrow. And today I have a score of 0 on the second day. And at the end of the day, I want to score 100. And if you score 100 the first day, that means you can do it again the next day. And when you do that, winning is undeniable. Win today.
I failed is 10 times more of a man than someone said, what if? Because what if never went to the arena. When you guys find a fear, that fear will either create you or destroy you. I love fear, and the reason why, behind every fear is a person you want to be. Fear is self-imposed, meaning it doesn't exist. You create it, you can destroy it too. It's an intangible. If you face your fears, guys, you will realize it's not that big. And once you face it, you go, oh my God, man, I spent all this time running from it. It was so small. If I just faced it, my God, not only did I face it, I beat it back, energy is never lost, transferred. That negative energy, that fear is destroyed. It comes back in as confidence. You're like, what else am I capable of? What else am I holding my back from that I'm capable of more? What am I running from I don't need to? What else can I overcome? You face your fears, you become the person you want to be. You run from your fears, you're not living. You're alive, but you're not taking the freedom.
Through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. You start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. It's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day, so then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it.
People see the trophies, but not the training ground.
A moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory. Remember that.
You know, everywhere I look around the game, I see lesser versions of myself. People trying to implement our way of thinking, which is the correct way of thinking. So I respect that. But at the end of the day, it is just a watered down version of myself. So I respect it, but I cannot fear it.
There's this line that I heard David Goggins say on Rogan, and I can't remember who he was saying it to or what he said in response to, but he just said, I'm David Goggins, bitch. And I remember him saying it, and I thought to myself, like, you want to be able to say that in the mirror to yourself and not laugh at yourself. Mm-hmm. And the only way that I can do that is know that when no one's watching, I work harder than when they're watching. And thinking about it like that, no one's watching, which means now you have to work, because otherwise you're full of shit. Mm.
One thing important is that we all have these moments in time that either make you or break you, that can determine the rest of your life. The rest of your life can be determined by one simple decision. 19 years ago, I got 0.5 into it. I weighed 297 pounds. I sat on this rock and I had a decision to make. I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. There wasn't some inspirational quote. There wasn't nothing. It was me, myself, and it was freezing out here. I had to make a decision. The decision I made was to get up and keep on going. That one moment changed the rest of my life.
I was not always this strong guy you see. I went through a lot of hard times in my life to get here today. All I wanted to be was an uncommon man. In my whole life, I was not that. Much worse than that. So I came home one day from working at a job called Ecolab where I sprayed for cockroaches. Made $1,000 a month, weighing 300 pounds. And I got home and I watched a show on Discovery Channel of guys carrying boats and logs, Navy SEAL training. And I decided to make a change in my life. And I called the recruiter up and he asked me these questions. You had to meet a certain age, like a certain height and weight limit. I was 6'1" and 300 pounds. He laughed at me. 7 other recruiters laughed at me. One recruiter finally said, "Come on in, I'm too busy to talk to you on the phone." He didn't know how much I weighed. I walked in the recruiter's office and he looked at me and he said, "You're fat and you're black." I said I want to be a Navy SEAL. I didn't know there had only been 35 African-American Navy SEALs at that time in over 70 years.
He said I basically had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months because of my age. I was getting too old. I came back 3 months later, 106 pounds lighter.
Champions aren't found on the podium with their hand up. No, champions are found in lab studies, the thousands of hours of hard work when no one's watching. That's what makes the will unstoppable. When you're in here and no one else is, and you're pushing yourself harder than anybody with no one around.
Listen, the work is behind the scene. Competition is the easy part. Behind the scenes is where the work is done.
Do you think Michael Jordan was just interested in winning championships? You think Kobe Bryant was just interested in basketball? Those individuals are obsessed. Are you interested or are you obsessed?
I became obsessed. I became obsessed with being the baddest that God ever created. Am I that? I don't care. I believe it. Once you become obsessed with something, obsessed, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great.
You love me because I'm Kobe, because I'm a 5-time champion, because I'm one of the greatest to step on the court. But you shouldn't. You should hate me. Hate me because I gave you 4 a.m., because I pushed you when no one else would. Hate me because I demanded greatness, and greatness demands everything. Love me when you become greater.
You have to be crazy enough to think that it's possible. That's how you do something worthwhile. That's how you beat the odds. You have to believe it's possible, okay? And when you believe something is possible, everything else will figure itself out.
Dude, I'm out there for hours every day and no one sees what the I'm doing. No one. It's a great, beautiful thing, man.
Everything counts. Everything that you do counts. The biggest mistake that people make is they think that only what they want to count counts. No. When you read a book, when you listen to an audio program, when you go to a course, when you go to bed early and get up early and you work, it all counts. And it's all going on the plus side of your ledger. But when you watch television, waste time, hang out, fool around, and so on, all of that counts as well. And it's going on the negative side of your ledger. And here's an important point. If what you are doing is not moving you towards your goals, then it's probably moving you away from your goals.
You know, we have a million and one excuses that we could go to. Fact of the matter is, we're not going to make any. They played better than we did this series. We had opportunities to win it. They didn't go for us. You know, so we have to regroup. Like I said, next season starts right now, and you know, come back next season and play.
How much harder will you work in this offseason now to get back to the championship?
I'll push myself to exhaustion.
The winners always show up. They're willing to lose in order to gain. Big mental thing there, guys. This body, as great as you are, as sharp as you make the arsenal, it can't do anything if you don't have confidence in yourself. We all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back up? You go after and you give it all you have. If you lose, at least you tried, man.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is to take care of ourselves.
What's up, man? Made it back. Another 24 hours down. It's incredible. I'm proud of you for that.
I just try to get a picture of one of the next greats. I'm proud of you, my boy.
Discipline is rooted in the truth we tell ourselves. Because if you tell yourself the truth, and the truth is, I'm not happy with where I'm at. That's the truth. The truth is, I can do more. The truth is, I can be in better shape. The truth is, I can work harder than I'm working right now. The truth is, I can do more for my family. The truth is, I can do much better than I'm doing right now. And if that's the real truth, if that's what you believe, if you believe that to be the truth, you won't have to find more discipline. Discipline will find you.
When you have emotional maturity, you realize that some days you're not going to sleep well. Some days you're going to wake up and you've got your schedule and everything's planned out and hits the fan. You got to eat those sandwiches, right? And whether things go well or not that day, the emotionally mature man will still do what he has to do to stack his wins, to focus on his purpose, whereas the emotionally immature man
will say, well, I didn't sleep well, I had nightmares, so I'll stay in bed. I didn't sleep well, or it's raining outside, it's cold outside, I don't feel good. I just woke up and the airplanes hit the World Trade Center, so I guess I have to change my pattern of life. You have to stay the course no matter what. And it takes a high level of emotional maturity because your emotions dictate your motion, like what you're going to do. And so if you have emotional maturity, you're more likely to lean into discipline when things are suboptimal. If you lack emotional maturity, then how you feel determines what you do next, which is very damaging to outcome.
You're not supposed to have it all together. You're not expected to have it all together. Anybody looks at you and says, hey man, what's wrong with you? How come you don't have everything figured out? They're a fool. Knowledge and experience and wisdom takes time. Wisdom comes from experience, and experience takes time. The more experience you have, the more you learn from that experience, the wiser you can get. If you haven't lived long enough to have a broad enough portfolio of experience, then you can't expect to have knowledge and wisdom.
It wasn't about the potential. It wasn't about the genetics. It was about the perseverance. And it was about being the hardest worker in the room. That's what got them there. And it didn't happen overnight. They got knocked down more than they ever stood up. But they kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. Because what else is the alternative? To be average again. That sucks, man. And I'll never accept mediocre again. I'm always going to give it my 110%. That's the only thing I can ever say a solid day's work.
I need to let you in on a very important secret I learned when I was about your age, boy. You see, power, real power, doesn't come to those who are born strongest or fastest or smartest. No, it comes to those who will do anything to achieve it.
Interested people watch obsessed people change the world.
It's personal. 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 It's personal.
I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. I viewed myself as, slightly above average in talent. And where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. While the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working.
We all want to read about how we can quickly get somewhere. That's why the 6-minute abs and all sort of shit so powerful. You may get some results from it, but they're not permanent. The permanent result comes from you. I say it all the time. You have to suffer.
Bro, you gotta stop. You gotta stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something.
It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work. Delusional. Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion because it's only delusional until it works.
You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
I felt like everybody had written me off after those air balls.
So many people doubted me and motivated me every single day to be who I am. I fell so many times and got back up, but I'm still standing.
You're willing to shoulder more than your responsibility of life because you expect and demand something more of life. Champion's mentality, man. Hoping for a good result. You're demanding a result. You're going above and beyond. You do more than what's normal because you want more than a normal return of life's investment.
And here's my best advice. Welcome all experiences. You never know which one is gonna turn everything on. Don't put up the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness. Take down the walls. Go for the experience. Let it teach you.
There is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. But I personally don't want to lose all that I've been able to get. So I need to make sure that I do everything to keep it. So I can't be content. So there is an understanding but I refuse to click on the switch of...
You didn't learn your limitations. I have no limitations.
Bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not going to happen. Tell me it's going to fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
It certainly lit a fire under my belly. Every single person doubted me. Every single fighter doubted me. Doubt me now.
Surprise, surprise, the king is back.
Sometimes you just gotta say things just for what they are. Just for what they are. Passion is free. Nobody can charge you for passion. Nobody can tell you what passion looks like. Because that's all about you. Effort is isolated. The reason why effort is isolated, because nobody can dictate it. Effort is 100% in the mind. No coach, no player, nobody else can make you run to the ball. Nobody else can make you finish a tackle. Nobody else can do it. That's why it's the most isolated things in this earth right now. It's effort. And when you finally figure it out, how to win real battles, it's found through fundamentals. That's what wins championships. That's what wins battles. Blocking, tackling, until they get tired. Because you don't know what tired feels like.
And then once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now, your delusion becomes, oh, he was a genius.
Once I made that commitment and said I wanted to be one of the greatest ever, then the game became everything for me.
He said, you know the difference between champions and everyone else? And I was like, what? And he said, everyone always looks at them and says, what do champions have that I don't have? And he said, what do champions not have that I have? It's what do they lack? And it's an off button. They just don't stop. And so in dealing with the gold medalists, he's like, they just never stop. They just can't stop. Everything in their life is geared towards one goal.
There was a young basketball player who had dreams of becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
My name is Kobe Bryant. I'm 17 years old.
I wasn't invited to parties or, friendly gatherings on the weekend. So on Fridays and Saturdays, I would go to my rec room with my basketball and basically dribble myself to sleep. During those lonely hours in the rec room, I discovered the hunger, the motivation, and the desire to be the best possible basketball player that I could be.
No matter where you came from, no matter what part of the world, no matter who your parents were, no matter what your poverty level may have been, may not have been, no matter what you had, what you didn't have, all of that, if you worked hard enough, if you dreamed big enough, if you were tough enough and you made yourself tough enough, you sacrificed enough, you became polished and savvy enough, and if you made yourself and took advantage of that opportunity, got yourself ready, and you were ready to behave like a champion, you could get in that ring on one given night and make the world fair and have your hand lifted and be called champion of the world.
He believed in himself, and you can too. You can do anything that you want. You can get singing lessons, get a better job, make more money. You could be even rich. You could live in the White House someday. You could be president. Do what you want to do. It's not up to other people. It's up to you.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
There has to be something. This is what I'm talking about now, because this isn't a hack. This has to be in you. Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. Sometimes you can read a David Goggins book because I was all this shit and then a lot more of up. But if you don't have a little flame, just barely, you're done. I can't light it for you. And that's the harsh reality of this life that I want to get across so fucking bad. You can watch me, you can watch you, you can watch Rogan and Cameron Haynes, all these motherfuckers. You can go to Tony Robinson's fucking bullshit, do all this shit. Do all this shit. If you could keep going back and keep spending money and spending money and spending money with no results, you can wonder, wow, maybe let me go try out David Goggins. He ain't gonna fucking help you. You have to explore, examine the insides of yourself. And what do you really want out of life? Your friend and a lot of people out here just don't fucking want it. So guess what? Have fun with your life.
Your biggest enemy is you. People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you. Nobody else.
If you look at Nelson Mandela, if you look at Mother Teresa, if you look at Mahatma Gandhi, who died with under 10 possessions, these people were world changers. These people were radical optimists. These people suffered because the root of the word passion means to suffer. They suffered for their dream. They suffered for their values. They suffered for their cause. They suffered for their followers. They suffered for their greatness.
Work, 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 work. No results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, 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 work. Work, 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 work. No results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, 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 work. No results, I'm a little bit better. Work. Boom. Just got paid. I just got paid. And it looks like overnight success. Yeah. It's like, oh, shit, it happened in a year. No, bro. It doesn't.
What I want to invite you to do, what I want you to consider is that every single time you go and do something hard, that's the story you've told yourself, that it's easier said than done. You know, it's kind of hard to do that. Well, it's supposed to be fucking hard. Look, if growing stronger and building muscle were fucking easy, you'd have no reason to go to the gym. There would be no growth if there was no challenge.
When you want to achieve the highest goal of all time, you are going to have to learn how to get your ass kicked all the way up that damn mountain. If I want to be way up here, it's going to take a bunch of small micro failures along the way. But you have to understand that that is part of the process. I know what darkness looks like. I know what it feels like to be alone with no motivation, no drive, no passion. And what has to come out of your fucking soul in the darkest of times. But if you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that.
What type of reality are you even living? What type of reality are you living? Are you living a proactive reality where you're continually problem solving and looking at all of the different ways that you could manipulate, guide, or push your reality that you want in your favor? Or are you living a reactive reality where you just continually allow what is going to happen? Well, I can tell you right now, if you live in a reactive reality, you need to stop. Because if you really want to live the life of your dreams, you have got to start living a proactive reality.
Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times.
The hardest thing in life is figuring out who you are and what you want to do for the rest of your life. And once you figure that out, you wake up every day and you work toward it. It's impossible for you to fail if you know who you are, what you want to do, and you wake up every day and work toward it.
And I'm answering your questions. Every question I'm answering it. I'm with you. But in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking about is all the times I could have won those matches that I lost by not bringing my best mindset. You're haunted by all the opportunities that you missed by not bringing your best at that time when you could have won, but you didn't win because you allowed life to interfere with that one shot. When you're sitting there getting ready to serve for the match and your mind is not thinking about where that ball placement needs to be, but it's thinking about your family this or this at work or that at work. That's greatness. Greatness is your recall on every single shot that you missed throughout a 20-some year career. Every shot, you can go back and say, I was here. This person was in the red shirt there. Greatness is being so aware of the time of life in the second that went by and you can recall like it was yesterday. Greatness is being able to go back there, not making that same mistake again, and being haunted by it.
There really are only two macro level motivators that we have in life, and that's pleasure and pain. I want people to understand is, okay, so if nature only gave you two things to motivate you, pleasure and pain, why would you eliminate half of them? And so most people think that life is about avoiding the pain. I'm here to tell you right now, in a very controlled fashion, it is about really experiencing the pain, learning from it. Pain plus reflection equals progress.
Failure has been achieved, thank God. Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been.
The heaviest things in life aren't iron and gold, but unmade decisions. The reason you are stressed is that you have decisions to make, and you're not making them.
The one thing I would tell them is, and I would tell them to get it tattooed on your arm, and they would say, it's supposed to be fucking hard.
You get up in the morning, what are you going to do today? I'm going to win today. Well, just by saying that you're going to win today, you ain't going to win today. It's a jungle out there. See, most of us, we come out to compete every single day. The jungle comes to win because the jungle is always prepared.
How hard are you really working? I don't know about you, but I don't encounter many people who are completely committed to their craft. In our society where it is very unpopular to have a sickening, completely committed, dedicated work ethic, it's not the norm. I believe people who think this way don't know what it's like to push yourself to the limits, don't know what it's like to work your absolute best, give everything you have, sacrifice, commit, work hard, and that feeling of growth, of progress, of even reaching a milestone in your journey. How amazing that feels.
Taking responsibility doesn't mean you blame yourself. It means you become accountable for everything that happened, because it's the only way to improve. It's the only way to see real progress. If you're constantly blaming something else for your circumstances, it means you're giving up the opportunity to be in control. It might not be your fault, but it's your job to make the most of every situation and do the best with what you have. So do it. Take responsibility for all of it, because that's when things start to get good.
Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on, the ghost of the talents you didn't use, and they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
I think finding uncomfortable moments and embracing uncomfortable moments are one of the most important things a person can do in terms of understanding themselves and understanding how they think. And if you don't do it, if you just avoid it, you have that uncomfortable moment, you just start boozing, or you take some pills or something and you just avoid it, you're never going to figure out what was going on in the first place that led you down that weird road where now you find yourself crying in the fetal position on your bathroom floor. Like, how'd you get there? Like, are you looking at it, or are you just going to take pills?
Screamed to me the other night, hey, Will, I want to be an actor, man. I want to be an actor just like you. You know, usually people say stuff to me like that. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, you do is give them an encouraging word. But I was just sitting here thinking, and it dawned on me, 99% of people that say stuff like that are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. You know, something as simple as food and eating. It's not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. Every day, we are choosing shit that's not in our own best interest. right? So if the world is attacking you and the world wants to fight you and the world's trying to hold you down, so you're going to kick yourself in the balls? So you're going to stop yourself from getting what you dream. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
You know, the things that you think about all the time, that you don't tell anybody, right? You can do that thing. You actually can achieve it. And you should believe in yourself. You should believe in those things because they're there for a reason. They're not in your mind. They're not in your heart just to be there.
Consistency is even rarer than talent or enthusiasm. Every January 1st in the gym, rock open, everyone's keen to do something, they've got these New Year's resolutions, they're all enthusiastic, and some of those people will be talented. But how many of those people end up being consistent long term?
You know, there comes a day, man, everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening, it makes you want to throw up. Because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, you know, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out, or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, you know, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a f***ing day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average and just burns, it sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day. And you get off your ass and you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much pain and commitment. You were scared you were going to fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it until something hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you of what you could have been. And then the fucking spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never going to be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even if it gets knocked down, you just keep going. You're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet. It's time to unwrap the potential you can be. It's within you. It's within every single one of us. And the people that have risen to that level were no different than any one of us. It's just they believed it and they were willing to work their ass off to get it. It wasn't about the potential. It wasn't about the genetics. It was about the perseverance. And it wasn't about being the hardest worker in the room. That's what got them there. And it didn't happen overnight.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Embrace the process. And then by the time you get up in years, you can be a man that you're proud of. Okay? So this is just an encouragement to just chill out. Just chill out. Embrace the process. You say, Dwayne, what process? Life.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
Do you think discipline in and of itself is the root, or do you think discipline within the framework of a direction? Because you had the business, you had the vision for who you wanted to be, you were pointed towards that, and discipline got you there. But if somebody's not pointed anywhere, would you give them different advice?
Yeah, I think I would. I think that if someone has zero plan, zero future planned out for them and ahead of them, they don't need to just implement discipline into their life. They don't need to go out and run 10K a day for 70 days or train twice and drink this much water and do this. I think they need to take the first little step, whether that's trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. What are you actually good at? Everyone's good at something, right? If you can leverage that one thing and make it become your life, eventually it will lead to success. And I'm sure, I'm sure everyone can be successful in a field of what they do. I don't know what the timelines are on that. It could be 50 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 1 year. You see, singers blow up after 6 months of singing, but you'll see a business person like me blow up after 12 years. Or you'll see a businessman that sells cars and it'll take him 35 years. There's no timeline for it. It's just about taking that first step, whether that first step is reading a book, mental health, going for a run. Whatever that thing is, just give it a go. Just try it. See if you can stack it up. And if you enjoy it, keep going at it.
Whenever you feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past.
Death is not waiting behind that door right now. Every second, you are between life and death. One day, it just stays with this, then this is going to happen. So in the moment where you realize it could be my last action right now that I do, having this type of thought on the mind, it could be your last, hopefully makes you wake up to really focus on the things that are important for you. Because many things are starting to fall away when somebody tells you, look, you only have 1 more week to live. Many problems that at the moment people are caring about, they will just disappear. Then they wake up and realize this shortness of life, how precious it actually is that we are able to be here.
I'm not talented. It was life and death. Either you live or you die. Which one do you want, Tom? That was the decision. In the corporate life and in the gym. But if you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something. I'll repeat that. If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something, not even yourself. A lot of days I'm like, oh, you can't do this, Tom. Bullshit! Let me show you. I would have arguments with myself. I could do it. People doubted me. I doubted myself sometimes too. But you know what? I watched Arnold fall down. Nobody remembers when he fell down. Arnold wasn't the glorified winner as he was in the first 70 through 75. He got up. I became a famous film star. He became governor. He kept getting up and getting up. I saw Trump do the same thing. I saw a lot of these guys I admired in business do it. And that's what it takes. To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want. And life and dreams do come true. Anything you want can happen, become a reality. I believe that sincerely, and I'll die on that thought.
You have to learn how to fail. A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you're gonna have a lot of bad days. So I had to teach myself how to fail right. And what that means is, when I fail, I can't spend much time in that fail zone. I have to be able to get up and get after the next day just as fast. I don't have time to stay here and feel bad for myself for weeks and months and years, because I'll lose that time.
And eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire. But discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
Live your life the way that you want to leave your life. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you right now, if you had 90 days to live, how many of you will make some radical changes in your life?
You know, you must hope and believe in yourself if you ever want to see what that hope can turn into, what that belief can turn into. By doing this every day, repetitively, those are the measures that lead to the big moments of success that everyone sees in life. No one sees the struggle in here. No one sees the hardship, the early mornings you get up. No one sees any of that. They just see if your hand's raised or not. And if it is, oh, what a great guy. Oh, I wish I could be that guy. I wish I could be that guy. But they're not clapping, wishing they could be you at 5 in the morning when you get out of bed, when it's pissing rain outside, to come and train for that hand to be raised. They don't want to be that guy. They just want the glory. And that's the differential of a champion. You know, in adversity, guys, is where you find character.
The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and the shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted. And somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope, the power of one person.
You cannot change your life unless you change something. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
My name is Conor McGregor and I live in Lucan. I'm a professional MMA fighter with a record of 4-1. I'm an up-and-coming fighter, and without a doubt you will see me on the UFC in the near future.
I'm the fucking future.
This is the law of attraction. You have to, in the struggle, you know, when things are going good and you visualize these good things happening, you visualize more good things happening, that's easy. What's not easy to do is when things are going bad and you're visualizing the good stuff. And that was what I was able to do. I was able to, you know, even though I was having these troubles at home, and even though I had no job, you know what I mean, or whatever, didn't know what I was doing. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen, but I still was able to feel like it was. I still was able to go into a different, just like use my imagination, like a kid would use his imagination. I was basically just using my imagination, driving a little my girlfriend's car, a little Peugeot 206, and I was driving that, shaking down the road, and I visualized that, and I swear to God, sitting in the traffic and all, I visualized, I'm sitting here holding the steering wheel, visualizing a brand new car, and visualizing good things in times of struggle. And that when you can do that, I think that really makes that law of attraction work. I think it really attracts to you more. You know what I mean? Because that is harder to do when you're in the struggle to visualize these things. If you have a clear picture in your head of something is going to happen, and a clear belief in that it will happen no matter what, then nothing can stop it. You know what I mean? It is destined to happen, and that's what happens. You know what I mean? It's perfect. That's something I always dreamed of. I always visualized what given would feel like, given to people who have given to me, what that would feel like. I always dreamed of just showing up one day and be like, here. And that would always give me like good feelings. I feel to be at the pinnacle of any game, in any, whatever you do, you've got to be a little bit gone to it. You're not all there. You've got to be almost insane to your craft. Not a lot of people can understand that. That's why I don't know about nothing else. I do not pay attention to nothing else.
Where does this confidence come from? What were you like as a child? Were you always like this? Did you know you were destined for greatness?
I was always one of those guys, yeah. No, confidence grows through work, through seeing what's happening around you, and that's it. I put the work in, and it's paying off, and I truly believe that my work is the correct work. What I'm doing is correct. I don't look at other, I celebrate my surroundings. I believe in my team. I always did. I don't see another successful team and run to that and be like, this is where I need to be for the best sparring. Right. I never felt like that. I believed in my surroundings from day one, and then it just grew and my confidence grew. I've lost my mind doing this game, yeah? Like Vincent van Gogh. He dedicated his life to his art and lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me. But when that gold belt was around my waist, when my mother has a big mansion, my girlfriend has a different car for every day of the week, and my kids have everything they ever want, then it will pay. Then I'm happy I lost my mind. Yeah? Now, there's another thing. What do you want to be? You know, I don't want to be anything. I am everything I want to be. I mean, I'm already there. You know? I don't want anything. You know? People say like, I want this. I want to do this and I want to do that. But the vibe you're putting out is want. They're always gonna want. I always have the attitude that I have. And I always felt like I was a black belt walking in. You know what I mean? I always felt like I was the world champion. I always felt like I already could do everything. I was only telling you about the surfing the other day. I was got the rental, walking around like I was a fucking pro. You know what I mean? But I don't want anything. I have everything. That's the mindset of me. I have everything. I have everything. You know what I mean?
Did you have faith maybe back then that your time would come and that you would be able to explode onto the scene as you had?
If I didn't, it wouldn't have happened.
If a person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, okay, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves. See how you'd like to live your life. See yourself living it that way. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind. Take that picture and describe it. Write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. Start to read it and read it and read it and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers all down through history have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it. I watch people in the personality change right in front of my eyes, and all they're doing is starting to see themselves different. They're starting to think different thoughts.
Nah, I feel confident because I'm the best player in the world. That's simple.
You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be. Do anything you set out to accomplish if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose.
If you want to be great, you want to be the baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you're going to be misunderstood by everybody because you're going to be so obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes.
That's the truth.
It takes every second of your life. Anybody says balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of people. It is. But if you want to go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you do, you've arrived. When you are misunderstood to the point where people think you're psycho and you're nuts and you're this and that, why are you in the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning? You just got to doing an op for 13, 14 hours after Ranger School, man, at the gym. What's wrong? You will never understand what is wrong with me.
If you want revenge for the bad things that have happened in your life, start with the version of you that hasn't lived up to your potential.
That's how your mind works 24/7. It never turns off. You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it.
The only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist. Success is the only revenge. He's like, it's not the best revenge. He's like, it's the only one. There's no other revenge. Because everything else is petty. Everything else does show that you were thinking about these people all day long, which means they win by default.
Could you do me a favor? Stop being scared to be you. Start being you. Fuck what they say. You keep running. Oh, they going. Fuck what they gonna say. Start being you. Listen, before you know it, life is gonna be over. And you're gonna say to yourself, I didn't live my life. I'm seeing too many people out here being clones of people that they never met just because they seen them on social media and they put this whole show on, this production of their life is so great that you don't even want to be you, that you abandon yourself. I ain't gonna never jump outside of myself and be nobody else. I'm gonna be me. Start being you and stop being everybody else. Stop being scared.
There's people like us where we're crazy in the sense that we believe to be, it's almost delusional sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, like, what's the one, I've heard this quote on the JRE before. It's like, greatness and madness are next door neighbors and they just borrow each other's sugar once in a while. Bro, I can manifest like a motherfucker. Everything comes from the imagination. Everything comes from the imagination. So the power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is. I'm still learning. But I know one thing is I can make things happen. I can go into levels, I just can't tell the world, but like there's levels that like I've manifested things that I'm just like, I still shock myself, like how the fuck did I make that happen? And this is not even to do with fighting, this is to do with my personal life. And I'm like, I made that happen. And this is through this like manifesting subconsciously as well. Just years of something just manifesting, and boom, it's right there. I'm just like, shit, I really made that happen. It's scary, man.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it.
You need to tell yourself if you're going to win or lose. And there is no opponent. There's no knowing. You're against yourself. I believe in myself so much that nothing is going to stop me.
The sky is the limit. And as a kid growing up, I believed that. I believed that whatever I put my mind to, and if I was willing to make sacrifices and I was dedicated, that I could achieve absolutely anything.
Connor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in, all you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it, you called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything.
My hero, that's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know, I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. This person comes up and says, who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years. So I turned 25 10 years later. That same person comes to me and goes, so are you a hero? And I was like, not even close. No. She said, why? I said, because my hero is me at 35. So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero is always 10 years away.
The way I look at it within myself, or why not, or why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why can't I do that?
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
True years in the gym, true wins, true losses, true life. I just realized that if you say it to yourself and you look yourself in the eye and look yourself in the mirror and truly believe that not a man alive can beat you, then that is the way it is. And just true hours in the gym and preparation, I feel that I am untouchable right now.
I want to reassure you that no matter what the night, no matter what the storm, no matter what the difficulty, there isn't anybody here that can't figure it out, find some things to do, step at a time, yes. Minute at a time, yes. Day at a time, yes. Week at a time, yes. But there isn't anything you can't walk away from. There isn't any challenge you can't overcome. I want you to have that kind of belief in yourself.
And I've always had visions of better. I've always visualized better. And in times of struggle, like driving down in a banger of a car that I had to push start, I'd be still driving a soft top Bentley around beautiful California in my head. And lo and behold, now I am driving a beautiful soft top Bentley around California. So I always visualized good things. I always visualized victory, success, abundance. I visualized it all, and it's all happening.
Around 2010, 2011, I went through this huge spiritual thing where I became obsessed with the power of the mind. meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief. So I took myself from being very average-minded to actually believing that I was the shit, and believing that I could be the shit and that I could be the GOAT and be the greatest and never lose. Into, like, I took myself to a different place mentally, and a lot of it came from mental practice and meditation and visualization and just seeking knowledge from people who are strong believers.
Because despite my situation at the time, I always believed that, I don't know why, but it seems like I had some voice in my mind who told me that it's gonna happen. How? I don't know, but it's gonna happen. Then I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it. And that was just like 6 to 7 years ago.
Your words were your destiny. You spoke out your reality. You said, I'm gonna do that.
Connor, you've been dreaming about this moment. You've been talking about this moment. Honestly, though, does it feel the way you thought it would?
Yeah, it does. It feels beautiful. I dreamt this so much, so clearly, so precisely, and so frequently that it has manifested itself into reality. And that's what I am feeling right now. It's a dream come true.
Man, bro, when you really want something, you're going to find a way, ultimately. And it might not be today or next year or 5 years or 10 years, but this thing takes priority and precedent over all other things. And even then in this life, it's not necessarily guaranteed that you'll get there. But I know what's not guaranteed is you being comfy and getting there. That's not happening.
Greatness is not meant for a few chosen people. It's meant for those who persistently pursue their dreams every day and make that choice when they wake up. So, just a mentality, really. Aspirations come from people that do amazing things, but they're really ordinary people just waking up every day doing it, doing the little things that other people aren't doing. So,
to get anything of value, you have to sacrifice.
Paul, what is your purpose? Why are you here?
It's just too hard. Do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually the same thing? Nothing that has meaning is easy.
You asked for strength, and you received challenges to become stronger. You asked for a positive mind, and you were thrown into darkness to find your own light. You see, everything has its purpose, so only focus on improving yourself. That's all you can ever do.
You've got to have your own list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why.
He who has a why can bear almost any how.
It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
Work on your list of whys. Here's what we learn. If the why is powerful, the how is easy.
You're going to realize it one day. That happiness was never about your job or your degree or being in a relationship. Happiness was never about following in the footsteps of all of those who came before you. It was never about being like the others. One day you're going to see it. That happiness was always about the discovery, the hope, the listening to your heart, and following it wherever it chose to go. Happiness was always about being kinder to yourself. It was always about embracing the person you were becoming. One day you will understand that happiness was always about learning how to live with yourself, that your happiness was never in the hands of others. One day you will realize that true happiness comes from within, and no external factors can define it. It was always about you. It was always about you.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. Because anything else, you're gonna forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're gonna forever be miserable, man.
Well, most people just look at me as the guy that runs and yells as he's running. And that's, while I do that, to motivate people, But people don't understand that my day is broken up into segments. I work out, I eat, I sleep, but I spend most of my time studying. So like, I'm in the medical world. I'm a paramedic in Canada, but I spend a lot of my time trying to nuke every single thing about it, because I'm not trying to just be a paramedic, learn about veins and arteries and how the heart pumps and stuff like that. I'm trying to learn to the point where I can save someone's life. And even though paramedics are doing that all over the world, I'm trying to be that paramedic that can really dissect exactly what's going on and figure out, what medication goes where. Just trying to learn, the algorithm of what's going on, man. So I spend a lot of time with it. I'm not a real smart guy. And what I mean by that is I was born with ADD, ADHD. My brain cannot retain information. I'm not some genetic freak when it comes to running, when it comes to lifting weights. I am absolutely the bottom of the barrel. And people will never believe me. And they can just, whatever, believe what you want to believe. So when you ask me this question about what does studying look like for me, I have to go over the same page over and over and over and over again. While Jennifer can look at that page while she's, quizzing me, she'll learn it right then as she doesn't know anything about it. She will quiz herself or quiz me and learn it as she's quizzing me. It's the most frustrating thing in the world how my brain works. So what I do is I literally sit there with a pen and paper and I have my books and I go through and have to write everything down every single day. I will study the same page until it's photographic memory from writing the same thing down. And then from there, I'll go back through and relearn it again. So I'll learn the bulk of it, but then I'll go through and learn the small things within that. So if it's a medication, I'll learn what the medication does. I'll learn how to even say the medication. Because these medications aren't like albuterol. No, it's very big words. So I'll go through, learn how to say the name. Then I'll go through, learn what the dose is. Then I'll go through, and this is like every single day. So not like, oh, I got it. Let's just go through. No, nothing is I got it. Every single thing. I can't wait to get in this conversation because everything I do in life, it sucks. Everything I do in life, it sucks. That's why when I was 300 pounds and 24 years old, it wasn't like I had some big epiphany of, let's just go be a Navy SEAL, let's lose some weight. No, I knew my entire life was going to be a struggle, which is why I just ignored it. And I said, I'm not even trying to jump off into this and learn how to read, how to write, how to memorize, how to become something I am not. But through that process, something happened to me. And I realized this is why I feel sorry for no one. People are gonna think that I am maybe lying or maybe fibbing or exaggerating. No, I was the lowest form on earth. No talent, no ability to learn. And I literally know what it is to be rock bottom and to build that up. So that question about learning, it's a pain in my ass. And I don't have to do it. So think about it. I'm 49 years old and I'm a multi-millionaire. I don't have to do anything. So all I thought about when I was growing up is, man, I can't wait to one day get to the point where I no longer have to do this stuff. But what happens, as I got older, it became a way of living. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline, it's a regimen, it was a choice I made. And the choice I made was, what are you willing to sacrifice and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? And I was willing to give everything to do that. So studying is no joke. How my mind is wired now is that everything I do is what I do. Because the focus it takes for me to, like right now, I'm running. I'm not like a great runner. I'm not like injury free. So like my first 20 minutes of the run, I'm limping. I'm literally limping because I've had several knee surgeries and my body was twisted. And so now it's untwisting. So people look at me, oh, it looks like he's limping when he runs. I am limping when I run. my body's jacked up, so I'm focusing on how to get the best out of a broken body. So everything I do is a total focus on what I'm doing at that point in my life. Like when I was going through school, I'll never forget, I think I was in 3rd grade. And back then, ADD, ADHD wasn't like, here's this medicine, or here's this thing. They want to put you in a special school. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was so far behind in learning that their big thing was, let's just put him in a special school because he'll never learn. And through that process of like, I don't want to be in a special school. I don't want to be treated any differently. It really, I never took medication. I've never taken medication for this. That's why right now you see me looking right in your eyes. What the hell is human saying right now? And that's why I don't feel bad for people who have ADHD, who have learning disabilities. And some are impossible because you just can't. But a lot of them you can. But people don't want to go through the process of focus, of teaching yourself how to truly focus. This is where my message gets lost. It gets lost because I may say, MF or F, I may be, because that's the passion that comes out of me, because it takes everything for me to learn a sentence. So when I speak about David Goggins, I can't speak about David Goggins in a way that's just calm and cool. Because when I wake up, I know the journey that it takes for me to find my greatness. And it's hard. Nothing is easy. Nothing just like, I wake up and I just do this or I do that, or it just, I watch people every day go through life and it's so easy. For me to be where I'm at today, it takes every bit of me. So when I speak about it, and as I get going here, you'll start seeing me, the tempo will rise, the passion will come out, because I'm back there. I'm doing what I do every day to become a human being. And so nothing is easy. Like running is running. It sucks, but you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins. So that is what it takes for me to do what I do. It may take you something differently. So for me, everything has to be in the studying. Everything has to be into this. Everything has to be, and everywhere I am, it has to be there. Me, focused where I am. If I want to be great, I'm not trying to maximize money or maximize people knowing me. I do these things because maybe someone out there will understand me and get it and say, I can grow from this guy, and others just won't. The biggest misunderstanding about David Goggins of all time, it's like, whether you believe in God or not, I do. He put this lab rat, which is me, on this planet and said, let me fucking see what a beat up, abused kid who can barely learn, who has a twisted body, messed up genetics, sickle cell, this and that. Let me give him everything that pretty much disqualifies you from the military. But back then, it wasn't estrus. And let's put him in this and see what comes out of it. So to do that, friction. You don't wake up in the morning time and go to the coffee maker. Matter of fact, sometimes you don't even sleep. What it requires is when I'm at 2 o'clock it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and my brain is thinking about a drug. And I gotta get up and look in my book to see if that drug is how I remember it. And this is every day of my life. That's why when I train a fighter or I train someone, I'm like, you have no idea how great you really are. Because you are using such minimal of what you have. And if people can learn to focus, this is what's possible. While it may not be pretty, like people want to do a documentary on me. I go, no. I don't want you to do a documentary on me. Because I will have normal, everyday people picking me apart. Oh, his life is miserable. Who wants to live like that? It's crazy how it's almost like he's sick, he's psychotic. The most frustrating thing in the world for me is when normal people judge a man like myself on what it really takes to extract greatness from nothing. It takes every bit of who you are if you choose that route. If you don't, Merry Christmas, do what you gotta do. how can I give normal people, and I'm normal, but I found something that most don't want to find. How can I speak to people and give them something from this crazy psychotic brain that I've developed? How can I give them that? So I sit down with Jennifer for years and write down perform without purpose, callous your mind, armor your mind, the cookie jar, the accountability mirror, that people can use in their lives. No. I'm glad it helps you, but the barbaric life that I live, that you have to live, the almost obsession that you must have to be great, you can't put that shit in a book, bro. You can't put it in a book. You can't. You can't write about it. I didn't feel good. It was easy. The brain that I was given as a child, it was easy to go home and think about how do I want to be a freak today? How do I want to show up to school today and be a freak? It didn't require me going home and opening a book up saying, it's going to take me all year to learn this fucking page. So instead of learning that page, I learned how to become a character. And maybe that character that I created, that 300-pound insecure guy that used to fake it till I make it type of guy, let me become your friend, let me lie to you until you like me type of guy. When you have any manhood, womanhood, a human being, a soul, a spirit, I must have just this much pride, because that's exactly what opened the door for me. Because every day you were a character, every day you were a clown, every day you opened that Spanish book or that science book or English book, and you looked at it, it looked like a foreign language. And you're saying, where do I start? Where do I start? And obviously it was necessary. The more I talk about it, it was necessary, because what happened is I became haunted by the mere fact that this is my existence. And you got to live with that. And I lived with it for a lot of years until I sat back and said, okay, all right, I know what this takes. And when you sit back, as f***ed up as I was, and I had a laundry list, a table like this of what I have to do to become just a human being that can make ends meet, that can make $1,000 a month just to get there, was like, oh my God, dude, I'm 16, 17, I can't read, I can't write, and oh my God, I'm so behind the power curve, and my brain is about being depressed, and my dad beat, my mom's not home, and kids are calling me Nichols at school, and I'm like, oh my God, man, what the f do I do? And it wasn't like someone came around and said, hey man, you can do this. This is all me. Some people know, where's this cold man come from? I'm not trying to be cold. It's the reality of my life. It's the reality of a lot of people's lives. And so, yeah, that had to happen for me to be haunted, to pull out, to extract the guy at the end of the day. That haunting is something that's still there today. Because no matter how much you improve, no matter how much you change who you are, it's not permanent. You'll just wake up and say, oh my God, man, you're David Goggins, you break records, you do this, you do that. People want to know, how are you able to just be so hard? Because I never turned the fucking thing off. Because once it turns off, I go right back to the David Goggins that is. And that's the guy that I'm constantly fighting every day. And it's a choice. And that choice makes you misunderstood. It makes you crazy. That's why I hate fucking social media. In 2013, people wanted me to write my book. I did it in 2018. It took 5 years. And the reason why I didn't do it, I sat at a table and Jennifer was there. This is before she started working for me. I started dating her, whatever. And all these people were there. And they're like, man, you gotta go on social media. And I was like, fuck you, man. Like, I'm not, it's poison. It's poison because I knew what I did to get where I am. And I'm gonna have these people, these normal, everyday people, fat, lazy, exactly who I was, judging me. Because I know it, because I was once them. all my hard work, all my dedication, I'm gonna have some normal dude get his little brownie, his little ding-dong, ho-ho Twinkie, sit there with his coffee, picking me apart. Oh, he must be unhappy. He's just, do you know how hard it is to put these shoes on every damn morning? And I'm gonna have you pick me apart? So, yeah, there's so much that goes into this that I was like, this, I never wanted anything to do with it. So, anyway.